All right, we're going to make this train run on time, so it's 3:30 and we're going to get started. I am Damon Courtney. I am the creator and CEO of BookFunnel. I call myself the BookFunnel guy because that's what people call me when it is the BookFunnel guy. This is just a little slide that I put up there so that you guys could see that you're in the right room. We're actually going to go through BookFunnel's dashboard. What I hope to show you is, if you've never heard of BookFunnel, then you'll get an idea of all the things that you can use our service for. If you have BookFunnel, and the number one thing that I hear at conferences is, well, I have BookFunnel, but I don't think I'm using it enough. That's actually why I asked Craig if I could do this talk, because I actually get that a lot. And you would be forgiven for that, because we don't do a very good job of telling everybody all the things that we can do. We announced it 5 years ago, and you missed it. Well, we're not going to tell you again. So we're getting better about that. We have a new author outreach program where we have an orientation call every Wednesday that you can join in that will walk you through the beginnings of how to get started with your BookFunnel account. We also do a webinar every week on a different topic that we do. So I'm going to get in, I'm going to show you. We're going to jump right into the dashboard, which lives right here. Can everybody see all the way to the left there? We're going to hope the internet holds out. So this is really empty because this is the demo account and it doesn't have any downloads and it doesn't do anything. What I'm not going to show you today is what the reader sees on their side. It's important, but it's what we do all day, every day. We deliver over 100,000 books, ebooks and audiobooks every single day. So I don't want to show you that part, but if you're curious, you can go and check out our website and we have a demo of what that looks like. But that's not what I want to talk about today. What we're going to talk about today is what you're seeing on your BookFunnel dashboard. So there are three major things that most people joining BookFunnel are signing up for. Number one is they are building a newsletter and they have a reader magnet, which is a free story that they're going to give away in exchange for joining. And they're trying to get that process set up. That was the primary reason why I built BookFunnel 8 years ago, and it is still the biggest reason why most people are joining today. So setting up a reader magnet and delivery for your newsletter reader magnet. The second one is advanced reader copies, sending out ARCs or advanced reader copies to a team of readers or to a group of readers in advance of releasing your book so that when the book comes out on day one, you can get some of those early reviews. The third one is group promos, building your newsletter, joining in with group promos and author swaps so that you can find new readers to come and hopefully enjoy your books. Those are the three primary reasons. More recently, in the last couple of years, direct sales has been a huge driver of signups. I'm not going to get too deep into direct sales because it's a little beyond basic level. I'm happy to take any questions. So if you have a question and I don't answer it, please feel free to ask. I'm going to try to leave a lot of time for questions because I know that some people just want to know more than what I can show you. And they only give us 45 minutes here, which is not a lot of time to get across a lot of information. So the first thing I want to show you, though, and the most important thing if you're just new to BookFunnel, this little help button up here in the corner will slide out a drawer that has links like getting started on the mid-list plan, learn more about the author dashboard, find new readers with group promos, right? So and then this little contact form down here. That contact form is on every single page. If you ever get stuck, if you ever need help, you can send us an email. Our people are fast. We're there 365 days a year, even on Christmas. We will answer your emails and help you as quickly as we can, usually within a couple of hours. We have our lead author support person here in the audience today, and I'll introduce you to him as we get toward the end. What I want to show you, though, is that as we move through the dashboard, so now I'm going to just click on my list of the books that I have uploaded to BookFunnel. If I click that little help button, it's changed. All the links at the top now say how to create a new book, how to edit your title of your book description, how to replace your book cover and files, add a sample to sales and group page. That help drawer changes every time you move somewhere else and navigate somewhere else on the BookFunnel dashboard. And the reason is we try to make the help relevant to what you're looking at the moment. But no matter where you are, if you get stuck, you can push that button and you can contact our help people and they're there to help. So the first thing you're going to do on BookFunnel, invariably, is you're going to create a book. You can see I have several books created here. I'm not going to show you how a lot of these things work because it takes a lot of time sometimes. Creating a new book doesn't take a lot of time. It's actually really fast, but I don't want to spend time on that. What I do want to show you is, so I've created a book. We use Alice's Adventures in Wonderland as kind of the demo book that we use for a lot of our stuff. So this is what a book page looks like. Once you've uploaded your book, all of this is drag and drop. If you want to upload book files, you just click Upload Book Files. We try not to make it too tricky, right? If you wanted to, say for example, you wanted to upload a cover, you would click this upload cover button, and then you would upload a cover. So I've already created this book. You can see the book cover that I've put in. Hopefully you're not going to be able to read that, but hopefully you can kind of see. Let's see if I can make it a little bigger. You can kind of see what most of that looks like. So the important parts down here, though, are what you can do with this book once you've uploaded. This little section here called Delivery Settings will kind of explain what readers can do as you're delivering your ebooks. I'm not going to go deeply into audiobooks, but just know that anything you can do on BookFunnel with an ebook, you can do the same with an audiobook. They're interchangeable as far as our system is concerned. So most beginners are not uploading audiobooks. I don't want to spend a lot of time on that. But when we're talking about ebooks, readers, so just going down the delivery settings, readers can read in the BookFunnel app, they can read in their browser, they can download an EPUB. It still says Mobi. We got to fix that because we deleted those. Amazon doesn't support them anymore. And then it says down here, it talks about watermarking and protecting your book files. And those are some unique features to BookFunnel that you don't get in a lot of other places. BookFunnel will automatically watermark your files with what we call a hidden watermark, so that if your book gets shared somewhere, we can trace it back to where it originally came from. We also offer what we call visible watermarks, and some people call social DRM, which basically puts a little naggy note at the bottom of a chapter or at the bottom of a dedication page that says, "Hi, this book was prepared for Damon at BookFunnel.com." Like, don't go share it or your name's going to be out there for everybody to see. And that's another option that you can do. It is possible to restrict books so that they can only be read in the BookFunnel app and reader, meaning that the reader never receives a file that can be shared. That's not a feature that we recommend turning on for everything, but when we talk about advanced reader copies, it's a good idea because it's your new book, and it really sucks when the book that you've just put out and haven't even published yet might get shared online. Generally, I will tell you, it doesn't really happen that much. The people that are on your ARC team are not the kind of people that are going to go sharing your book everywhere. But if you feel about it, then you can do that. You can also provide a sample, right? So this has not been enabled currently, but you can create a sample for your book, like the look inside on Amazon, right? People go to your book page, they can click and kind of look down and see what the book looks like. But unlike Amazon, we actually let you control what that looks like. So in this example, we could say, oh, I want my sample to include chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, and that's the sample that I want to use. And that's it. You can enable samples. I'm not going to go deeper into that, but know that those features exist, right? The important parts are once you have a book created, you have to get it out there into the world somehow. And this is where BookFunnel has loads of features that you can use, and it depends on your use case. If you were, for example, putting a book out there that was a newsletter sign up, which is still the primary reason why most people are signing up for BookFunnel, then you could just create a sign up page against this book. So now that I have this book, I'm going to click this little big giant orange action button up here in the top. We also have this big orange add. We like orange. We also have this big add new button, and here I can add a new book, add a new audiobook, add a new landing page. Either one of those will get you to the same place. So we're going to say add a landing page. And it says, great, what kind of landing page? Well, I want an email sign-up page to collect new readers. I'm going to shrink my focus back down. So I want an email sign-up page. And creating a landing page on BookFunnel is as simple as this. Create landing page. And then say, so because I'm on, it's connected to my MailerLite account and my ConvertKit and all my other accounts because this is a demo. It wants me to choose a list, but I can actually just have it go to a CSV for this case. And I can hit save and close, and that's it. Now I have a landing page. If I go look at that, I look at this link for readers, I can open it. I can either copy it to a clipboard or open it in a tab. I just want to show you what the BookFunnel landing page looks like. This is where readers go, right? So this link is what you would send to a reader when you want them to sign up for your page. They click this little thing, and it says, great, let's stay in touch. What's your first name? What's your email address? I understand I'm signing up, blah, 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 blah. They sign up through this page, and they get immediately added to your mailing list. That's what this page looks like. They can also click this little read sample button, and that's going to open up to the sample that I just created. Notice there's no title page, no copyright, no nothing. It's dropped me right into chapter 1 because that's what I selected in my sample. I can read all the way through to chapter 2, and I can get to the end of chapter 3, and it says sign up now to continue reading. You can control that call to action at the end of your sample. If it were a sample for a sale and you wanted to then drive them to Amazon to buy the book, then that's where you would make that link go. If I click this, it's actually going to take me back to that page, and it's going to drop down that little sign-up dialog. I know that I'm going fast. I do. Which is why I say if you have any questions, please ask them. And if we don't get to all the questions today, Jack is our lead author support. Jack and I will be out in the salon, and I'm happy to take any and all questions after it. So I do recognize that I'm going fast, but again, I got 45 minutes. So we're going to close down this tab because that's a reader thing, and we're not really interested in that right now. But that's how easy it is to create a sign-up page. Once you set up your book and create the sign-up page, you're ready to start collecting readers onto your newsletter. And the great thing is that I know that a lot of this seems like there's a ton of information and a ton of things that you have to know, but once you get the initial parts set up, it's very turnkey. You don't have to keep creating these all the time. You don't have to upload new books. In fact, if you've written a reader magnet for your series especially, that reader magnet is going to work in all the places that you are gathering up readers. So you're going to be using the same page and the same reader magnet all the time. Now, what I would say is what we often do, so I'm going to go back to the book. I can't tell if I click. There you go. So I'm going to go back to the book, and when I'm looking at the book, now the internet's slowing down. What I would tell you is you can have as many landing pages on a book as you want, right? So I can go up here and I can say, I'm going to add another landing page. But this time, as the internet slows down, this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, oh, it's an email sign-up page, create the page, and now I'm going to call it, so this is back of book 1, right? Obviously I'm using Alice in Wonderland and it doesn't have a sequel, but it actually does have a sequel. It doesn't have a series, but what I'm doing here is I'm actually creating a different page because what I want to do is this link, the link that's now been created, which I can click here and then copy to my clipboard, that is the link I'm going to put into the back of book 1. And now when readers sign up, when readers get to the end of my book and it says, hey, come enjoy my reader magnet, get this free thing just for signing up for my newsletter, signing up for my mailing list, they get brought back to this page, they get signed up. But the beauty is that when they get added over to MailerLite or MailChimp or whatever your mailing list is, I know where you came from. I know that you came from the back of book 1 because that's how you got to this page. And I would create a different landing page for book 2. I would create a different landing page for group promos. I would create a different landing page for Facebook ads. Don't spend your money on those if you're not ready yet. But the point is that I can actually know where my readers are coming from as they are signing up to my list because I know which pages I created and what the purpose of those pages was because I put this little title in there. If I go back and I look at my sign-up pages, I can see back of book 1, this is the unnamed one that I made just a few minutes ago because I didn't give it a name. I encourage you to create a different landing page each time you are working in a different place or on different efforts because it allows you to know, for example, the simplest example I can give is, we're going to talk about group promos in a minute. If you join a group promo and you get a bunch of new readers who've never heard of you before, they get onto your mailing list, and the first thing they're going to get from you is a little welcome email that says, hi, I'm so glad you're here. I love writing books, and I hope you like reading books, right? Whatever you want it to say, it doesn't matter. Hopefully it's personal, and it's about you, and it's encouraging, right? But the important thing is that if you came from a group promo, the chances are really good you've never heard of me before. You don't know my name, you don't know my books, you don't know anything about what you're looking at. So I want my welcome email to be welcoming, but I also want to talk about my books, my writing, so that you can understand that I am the author that you're looking for, right? Now, if you come from the back, if I give a link to the back of book 1 and you read to the end of book 1, and now I say, join my newsletter, sign up, get this free novella that comes, this prequel novella, and you go sign up for that. Well, now when you've joined my list, I know that you've already read one of my books, and I want to treat you a little bit differently. Because now I don't want a welcome email that says, hey, I'm so glad you were interested in my book. I hope you like reading space opera. Obviously you do. You just read a space opera novel. So now when you get to my email list, you can set it up, and these are details I'm not going to go into, but you can have those two readers going to different lists. And when they go to this list, they get this welcome email. When they go to that list, they get that welcome email. You do not have to write like a 15 email welcome sequence for every reader. But having one, just the first one that they get, because now what I can say is, hey, I'm so glad that you loved book 1. I loved writing it. It was my first book, and I still get excited every time I write a book. My favorite character of the book was such and such. Who was your favorite character, right? A very different welcome email than the one that I sent to somebody who I have no idea whether they know me or have read anything by me. And so that is why using a separate landing page for each one lets you segment your traffic so that you know when readers reach your list, where did they come from? And you'll find that readers come from the back of book 1 or the back of book 2 or the back of book 3. It depends on how, you don't know when and where a reader is going to find you. So the more information you have about that, the better you can make decisions about how you want to talk to them. And again, you might just change the one email and then drop them all into the second email as the same and everybody just moves on. You don't have to write this big, long, dramatic thing for every single different type of way that people can join you. But somebody who's joining you from like a Facebook ad, you might want to talk to them a little bit differently than somebody who has come in from the back of the second or third book in your series, right? By the time somebody reads 3 books into your series, they're already a fan. They want to read everything you've got. And so you want to make sure that you're helping to foster that. So we got our landing pages. The second most popular thing that people will sign up for on BookFunnel is to send out ARC campaigns, Advanced Reader Copies. If you see that ARC, that's what that stands for. We built a feature called Certified Mail because we were super clever and we liked clever names, and then we later realized we should have called it Send an ARC. Yeah, there you go. Now we're committed now. We're committed to our mistakes. We do not go back on mistakes. In a certified mail campaign, it's really simple. And the difference between a landing page and a certified mail campaign is certified mail campaigns work like an email campaign. You're going to give BookFunnel a list of email addresses of the readers you want to send this book to. BookFunnel is going to generate a unique download link just for each reader, and we're going to email that to them. The thing about that is there is no page out there for random people to just share and everybody's now downloading your book for free. That's great when you have a reader magnet. That's not so great when you have an ARC that you want to send to a small and trusted team. So on certified mail, you give us the email addresses, we generate a unique private link for each person, and we send it to all of those people. And that's right here. You just paste the email addresses in here. Some of the nice things that you can do with certified mail campaigns that you can't really do with sign-up pages, you can set the campaign to send in the future. So you can say, I want to set this campaign up, but we're going to send it 3 weeks from now, so I want to set it up to go out automatically. And in 3 weeks, at whatever date and time you set, BookFunnel is going to send it out whenever you tell us to. How long should the readers have to download? This is how long does your campaign want to run? We defaulted to 2 weeks. You can go up to 4 weeks. After that, it starts to get a little crazy. So this is how long the readers have to download the book before their private link is taken away and that link is now dead and it can't be downloaded. So there's a little bit of a ticking clock, which is not a bad thing when you're giving away free books to people that you want to review. And then down here, we let you control the content of the email. So here's the subject line. Here's your review copy of title, which is just going to be replaced with whatever the book title is. Down here is the mail greeting. It has this big giant title. This big giant heading that says, "Title is ready for you to read and review." These are the greetings. You can change all of this text. You can control the entire content of the email that you send out. And then down here, the nice feature about sending out ARC campaigns is you can also tell BookFunnel to send out a reminder email halfway through the campaign. So in 1 week, they will get an email that says, "Hey, it looks like you haven't downloaded your copy of the book yet. Are you having trouble? Do you need some help?" And then you can add a little message in here that says, "Hey, everybody, 1 more week to go before the book is released," right? And then they get that, everybody gets that little email. And then finally, you can also add a second follow-up email that you want to go out at a specific date and time, usually after the book has been released and is now available on whatever platforms that you have it available on, because this is the email where you're going to tell everybody who downloaded the book that they can now go click this link and leave their review. And that's what you want them to do. So you can set the follow-up. You can send the follow-up date anytime you want. You can set the content. You can set the subject line and the email, review instructions, and all of that stuff gets sent out in an email at a follow-up email whenever you tell them. That's certified mail. It's as simple as that. It's all automated. Once you set it up and you set the date for the follow-up and the reminder, which you can change later, you can go in and reset the follow-up and push it out or shorten it, however you want to do. All of this stuff is editable once you're done. But that's the short version. Once you've sent this out, BookFunnel is going to send every reader an email. They're going to have the opportunity to download, and then they're going to get your follow-up, your reminder email and your follow-up email so that they can go out later and leave their reviews once it's done. See, and BookFunnel is helpfully telling me, like, you have some changes or you want to? No, I'm okay with that. Then the final thing, so we have a few more features that I'll just briefly go over, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time on. Gift a Book is this cute little feature where you just give us a name, you give us an email address, you select the book that you want to send them, and BookFunnel sends them an email with a private download link, just like certified mail, but it's one person. This is really handy if you like to send out gifts to your readers, or if you just wanted to send one copy to a reader, to a friend, to family. It's really, really simple, and it just sends them a copy of the book. Bulk delivery, I'm just going down the left nav here. Bulk delivery is something that is a feature that you would use for Patreon, Kickstarter, other kinds of things where you have a lot of people that you want to deliver rewards to in some ways. A lot of people that run Kickstarters end up, we had one Kickstarter that was huge and offered 8 ebooks to every single person who backed them. So now they have to send 8 ebooks to thousands and thousands of people, and that is what bulk delivery was designed to do. Bulk delivery is choosing any number of these ebooks, audiobooks in any combination that you choose, pasting all the email addresses in here. And now what happens is we don't send the email. BookFunnel goes and adds all of those books to the reader's BookFunnel library, which every reader has on BookFunnel. And now they can just go into their BookFunnel app or into their library and they can download those later. So again, it's great for things like Kickstarter where you've promised a lot of books to a lot of people at once, and you don't want to send thousands and thousands of emails that are likely to get lost. Instead, you just put them in bulk delivery. Then you go do an update in Kickstarter and say, hey, everybody, all the books have gone out. You can find them in your BookFunnel library. And then everybody goes off to download their stuff. So the last thing that I want to talk about before we take questions is the thing that if you're a new author and you're new to BookFunnel, is probably one of the biggest and best features that you can use, which is group promos. A group promo is simply a way to find other authors in your genre that also have reader magnets or books that they want to promote, and they're willing to promote yours in exchange. So the way that a group promo works is, I'm a space opera author, and I'm going to join this promo with 20 other space opera authors, and we all agree that I'm going to send all this big promo with 21 books. I'm going to send it to my list, and you're going to send it to your list, and you're going to send it to your list, and everybody's going to send it to their list, whatever that size may be. Some authors will have big lists, others will have small lists. But collectively, we have a lot of readers together, and guess what? They all like space opera. So they're really good people to send more space opera books to. So up here, if you're looking at the board right now, I currently have romance selected. This will come as a bit of a surprise to the non-romance authors, but romance is always the largest everywhere you go. So if you look at BookFunnel, you can see that right now we're looking at romance promos. BookFunnel has happily narrowed my board down to the genres that I care about. If I change my promo settings, I can actually tell BookFunnel what it is what it is that I write. So right now I have checked contemporary and sweet romance. If I wanted, I could go down and I could check sci-fi and fantasy and say, oh, I write fantasy, and I also write lit RPG. And the minute I save my settings, it's going to reload this page. And so now it's not only showing me romance promos, it's also, if I scroll down a little ways, it's also showing me sci-fi and fantasy promos. And it's limited my view of the board to basically the promos that I care about, because you've told BookFunnel that I only care about these kinds of promos. So if we look at this really quick, if we're just glancing at the board, can everybody read that at all? Do I need to embiggen it? Okay. It's a perfectly cromulent word. Can everybody read that? Okay. So what we're looking at is, this is romance. There are currently 470 romance promos recruiting on BookFunnel right now. Again, if you're not familiar, romance is always the biggest. So if we look at, there are 2 types of promos that you can join. There are newsletter builders, which is where you are trying to get readers to join your newsletter so that you can then talk to them and hopefully sell them more books at a later date. And then there are sales promos. Sales promos are like, hey, we've all made our books 99 cents for the weekend. Let's email all of our readers and let them know there's this great sale going on in contemporary romance, right? Because readers always want more books to read. So that's what this little type column is over here to the side. You can see, just making sure what's on my screen is on your screen. So, so there's only 2 types. There's going to be newsletter promos. There's going to be sales promos. When does the promo start? This one starts, I'm just looking at the Sexy Spicy Shorts right at the top. It starts on November 17th. It ends on December 17th. Pretty self-explanatory. Entries. There are currently 186 authors that are in this promo. Now, what you will find is there are some promos that are really, really large. Most organizers, which the organizers of promos are authors just like you. BookFunnel is not organizing all of these promos for all of our authors. We are letting the authors who know their genres best do the organizing for these promos. So many of those authors will set limits and say, this promo is only open to 30 participants, and when it hits 30, it closes and it's not available anymore. So as I scroll down, you'll see 186, 13, 30, 135, 71. All of these are actively recruiting, meaning they're still open and you can join them. So let's look at one that's a little bit smaller that doesn't have. So this is a sales promo, right? Black Friday, steamy mail sale. That's a mouthful. 99-cent romance or erotica. So if I click on this, so down here under subgenres, it says erotica, contemporary, LGBT. So if I click on this, I can see what this promo is about. These are the requirements. This organizer has put a lot of requirements in here. You'll see that sometimes. Other times you'll see simpler things. The best thing I can tell you is read the requirements. Make sure that, number one, the title will tell you generally what kind of books they're looking for. So make sure your books are going to match the genre that what the author is describing. And then read through the promo requirements. Obviously, this is a male-male erotica. If you don't write male-male erotica, this is probably not the promo that you want to look at joining. So if we get down here, we can actually see all of the promo participants that have already signed up. So you can see the author names and the books that they've worked with. And then if I preview, it's actually going to show me a preview of, assuming that the internet is running faster, it's going to show me a preview of what this page looks like. Now, it's not active yet because this promo has not started. So all I'm seeing right now is a preview of what the page will look like. But I can start to see what the books look like so that you can decide, oh, my book is maybe not as spicy as all of these spicy books. So maybe I want to go look at a different promo. And then down here, so I'm going to go back and just back. So that's a sales promo. And again, any of those books that I clicked on, they are not going to drive me to a sign-up page. They are going to drive me to Amazon or to Kobo or to Barnes & Noble or to wherever those authors are selling their books, because this is a sales promo. The purpose, you can see that it says 99 cents. That's your giveaway right there. So what they're asking for is every book in this promo drops their price to 99 cents, and we're all going to promote this big promo together, and readers are going to find us. If we look at a newsletter promo, so I'm trying to find one that's a little less smutty. Not that I got anything against it, but, standalone historical romances. Okay. So, in a newsletter promo, what you're really looking at, so you can go up to the top and we can actually sort. I can actually tell, sorry, I keep hitting click. I can actually go in and edit my settings and change to, so I'm going to remove contemporary romance and I'm going to stick with sweet romance. And then I'm going to turn off fantasy and lit RPG because I want to keep it limited to romance. And then down here, I can also say, I'm only interested in newsletter promos. I'm not doing sales promos. I only want to do newsletter builders. And again, BookFunnel is going to build this out to what I'm looking for. So clean romance newsletter build, November to December. And again, now you can start to see more of the details. This one is far fewer requirements. Promotion is open to all authors. Clean romance, all subgenres. So all we're really looking for is clean. They don't say that it's open to sports romance. It's open to bad boy even, as long as your bad boy romance is clean. Please be respectful when you share. New authors are welcome, and they're asking everybody to do your part. As you're first joining newsletter promos on BookFunnel, what you will find is that a lot of authors are very, very welcoming to new authors who have not built a list yet. So it's okay if you're coming in. BookFunnel has, we track what's called a reputation, which is essentially is not a Taylor Swift. It is a Taylor Swift album, but it's not what we're talking about here. What we're talking about specifically, I'm a huge Swiftie. What we're talking about here is that it's really tracking the number of promos that you've joined and the average number of clicks that you get from those promos. And what that tells the organizer is, are you sharing with your list? That's all they really want to know is, are you doing your part? It's okay if you have a small list. It's okay if you have a large list. What they want to know is that when you join in their promo, that you're doing your part and you're sharing like everybody else is. Because if we're all in this together, we're all joining in this together, we just want to know that everyone is doing their part. If you're just new to BookFunnel and you have never done any promos before, your reputation is 0-0, meaning you've never joined a promo and you don't have any average. Most all of our promos across BookFunnel are welcome to new authors who've never done this before. So I encourage you to go look around, tell BookFunnel what genres you write in so that you can limit it down to the ones that you're the most interested in, and then start browsing through them and find the ones that work for you. I'm seeing this. Absolutely no erotica, no bare chests, heat levels should be mild to 0. So this organizer is making very clear the kinds of books that they're looking for. And as long as you meet all the requirements, hit the join button. You can say, join this promo. And it says, okay, great. Well, what book do you want to submit? I'm going to select, just pick a book. And it says, what's your name, your email address? When will you share? Organizers want to know, just if you say I'm going to share on the 1st, and now it's the 10th, and you have no shares, they think that you're not doing your job. So they just want to know. Most authors know I send my newsletter out every Tuesday. So I'm going to share this on Tuesday, December 7th. I don't know if that's an actual date. But that's what that is for. When are you going to share your promo? Here's a note to the promoter if you want to send something that says, hey, I'm so excited to be a part of this promo or whatever. And then for this one, the author has asked BookFunnel to confirm that your book does not have any sexually suggestive covers and that your book is not erotica because they're doing a sweet promo and they don't want to do that. And then you just click join promo. Obviously, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to join their promo with Alice in Wonderland. That's it. And that the organizer, in most cases, you're immediately in the promo. And as long as you've met all the requirements, there's no reason why you might get ejected from the promo. Sometimes, if you didn't read the requirements and you submitted your, you call it clean, but you've got like big burly man chest on your cover, well, this organizer said none of that. And now you've submitted yours and they say, I'm sorry, I won't accept the book. There's man chest on the cover, and I said no man chest. So make sure that you read the requirements and be respectful, and you'll get into a lot of promos. Now, what's going to happen is once you start joining newsletter promos, you're going to get a lot of readers joining your list, and that is where I was talking earlier about having separate landing pages so that or even separate groups on your mailing list service so that you can have a group that says, these people came here from BookFunnel group promos. These people came organically from the back of my books, and now I know that I can send them different welcome emails and treat them differently. Generally speaking, someone who signs up through a group promo, they've probably never heard of you before, but they liked your cover, they liked your title, they liked your book description, and they thought, hey, this looks like a book that I might like. Let's actually click on a running promo, and I'll show you what one of those looks like. So these are all recruitings, right? So Fall Out of Love sales promo. It's got 70 entries. I'm going to open this up. No, I don't want to copy to clipboard. It's going to take a second to load because the internet is not super snappy. Oh, while that's loading, I'll keep talking. So this is loading the header image. And what's that? Oh. Yeah, no, that's the image. So for those of you who weren't on the internet in 1994, this is what it looked like for most of us, as the image would just sort of like, Okay. The point is, these are the kinds of features that most new authors are signing up for BookFunnel for. Again, direct sales is huge. If you're a new author, that's not something you really want to start dipping your toes into. I would work on writing the next book, getting your reader magnet set up, getting your mailing list set up are very, very good ideas from the start. I actually have a talk on Thursday that's going to walk through actual step-by-step how to do that. So if you want to join me for that. And then I have a talk on Thursday about direct sales. If you do have a number of books out and you're ready for that, then you should come to my direct sales on talk. So I kind of like two ends of the spectrum, the sort of really beginner stuff and then some more advanced stuff. I'm going to let this keep loading, and I'm going to ask for any questions if you have a specific BookFunnel question. And it doesn't have to be about anything that I've talked about here. If you have a question because you have a BookFunnel account and you really want to know something, I already see a hand up, so I'm going to go with that. You can go to the mic right back there. So now we're loading.
So after you've done the promo, how do you get your reputation? Like in Story Origin, you have to put like a link to your newsletter back so they can track it. How do you track that I participated in your newsletter and in your promo, and I sent out a newsletter and did my job?
So BookFunnel is tracking the number of readers that click the link in your email. We have tracking links set up for everything. So here's the thing that you want to remember. If I let's say that I join a list, if I join a promo, and BookFunnel does not track the size of your list, right? We don't have any of that data, and I don't want any of that data. But let's say you come in and you go, I have 8,000 people, 8,000 readers on my mailing list. Fantastic. You join in a promo and you say, I have 8,000 readers, and the organizer says, wow, 8,000, that's huge. And so then you join in that promo, and through 8,000 readers, and you send the promo out, and 2 people click on it. What number do you think the organizer cares most about, the 8,000 or the 2? So BookFunnel tracks the actual number of clicks that you get when you send an email out. Your reputation is entirely based on the average number of clicks that you get when you send out promos and BookFunnel things to your reader list. So what that means is if you're sending out a newsletter that has 8 different promos listed in it, you're not going to get a lot of clicks to each of those because you've spread all of the attention across 8 different things, as opposed to, say, sending out a newsletter where you say, hey, I'm in this great promo with a bunch of other contemporary romance authors this week. Here it is, check it out. You're going to get a lot more clicks to that one link than you would if you linked to 8 different promos that you were in at the same time. So that is what BookFunnel is tracking. What we want to track is the data we can actually measure. How many people clicked on that link? When they hit my page, I know if they clicked on it. I know how many people got there.
So if you're newer and you send it out, maybe you have 100 on your list and nobody clicks on it, you're still going to have a 0 reputation, but will people give you a little bit of grace for the first couple promos?
Yeah, if you haven't been in maybe 5 or 10 promos, they can see how many promos you've been in. So it'll say you've only been in 3 promos already, and you might have a low share average, but that's because you're just getting started. The other thing that happens is if you start getting, hopefully as your list gets bigger and you start getting more clicks, you can contact our support team and just say, hey, I'm doing really well now. My earlier promos, I didn't do so well because I didn't know what I was doing, or I didn't have a huge list. Can you help me? And our support team will go and we'll just knock those old ones off your reputation.
Okay,
we
perfect.
want you to succeed. The only thing we care about with your reputation is that everyone is doing their part. If you look like you're not trying to just scrape a bunch of email addresses without doing your part, our people will always help you with that.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yes. Next question.
Yeah, hi. I saw that you said you're deleting the Mobies, because I just got pretty much ringed for not having that, because apparently some people still have their old Kindles and whatnot, and they have to side load and all that kind of stuff, and they still use Mobi. But I know that Amazon doesn't do Mobi anymore.
So BookFunnel still supports Mobi on legacy devices. And what that means is that if you upload an EPUB to BookFunnel, we'll make a Mobi for you. And on really old Kindle devices, we still support that, even though Amazon has said they're no longer going to. BookFunnel doesn't drop support for things until the last reader is dead. So, I mean, really, for 2 years ago, we still saw occasionally people on Windows phones and Blackberries, and we were like, I'll help you get a book. So we still support Mobis. Authors no longer have to give us Mobis. We'll make the Mobi for you.
Oh, okay.
And we will only offer it on those old legacy devices that still support it. Anybody who's on an iPhone or an Android or anything newer, we just pretend like Mobis don't exist. They don't need them anymore.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. I just wanted to click on it. So inside of a promo, if you're looking at a promo, this one obviously has man chest. So if I click on this book, so this is what pops up. And this is going to be the actual author's page. So now see it says buy on Amazon. So this is a sales promo. So you get the book cover, you get the book description. And then if I click this button, it's actually going to immediately take me over to Amazon, because that is what this promo is designed to do, is to send people over to buy the books somewhere else. Next question.
Hi, I have some online questions.
All right, shoot.
What can be done about people entering promos that do not meet the requirements?
If they're doing it a lot, report them. What you can do is, so in BookFunnel, when you reject, if you're an organizer and you reject someone from your promo, you have the option of saying, I want to reject this person, and I don't want this person to ever sign up for my promos again. If you see somebody that is repeatedly abusing the system, if you contact us, we will block them from promos. There's nothing that I can do to know that this is not the right book, right? I don't have like a man chest nipple analyzer that says, oh, no, you can't do that. The only thing I can do is have a little checkbox that says, this author has said none of that. Ensure that your book doesn't have these things. So if you see somebody repeatedly violating that, though, we don't take kindly to that. We will absolutely ban them from using promos if they are abusing the system.
Okay, next question from online. Is it possible to come in and poke around before signing up with BookFunnel? Is there a free period while we are finding our feet?
No, and there's a very good reason. We don't offer a free trial because that is how scammers get into your system and use everything for free, and then they just keep signing up for more and more free trials. So with BookFunnel, you have to give us a credit card. You have to sign up for an account. Now, our cheapest account is $20 a year, so you can sign up for $20 and poke around on everything that you want to see. You can go through the whole promo board and see if it's for you. We have a number of authors that do this when they write in niche genres that are not necessarily represented a lot. You know, if you write in small town romance, God love you, you got millions of promos to join. But if you write some narrower genre, you might want to confirm that BookFunnel is going to have some promos that you can join if that's why you're joining. If you join, again, $20, you sign up, and you don't find that it's for you, we'll refund you. We'll always refund your money. So no, we don't have a free trial where you can just come in and try everything for free. But for $20 you can, and if you're not happy, we'll give you all your money back.
Okay, and finally, are there any restrictions on what books I can add to BookFunnel that I have put on KDP Amazon?
So if your books are in KDP Select or Kindle Unlimited, you cannot distribute those ebooks anywhere else in the world. That's just, it's an exclusive contract, an exclusive term. That's what it is. That said, we have tons of KU authors that use BookFunnel. What they are typically doing is their whole series, all of their books might be in KU, but the 3,000-word reader magnet that they wrote is not in KU. So that reader magnet is what they are putting up on BookFunnel, joining group promos, doing sales promos. We have lots of sales promos that are KU specific, meaning every author in this writes sweet, small town Christian romance, and we're all in Kindle Unlimited. So pile on, everybody. All of these books you can read for free. So you cannot put your book in BookFunnel and distribute it. If it hasn't been published yet, Amazon has some grace for sending out review copies. That changes depending who you ask. If you email Amazon and ask them and you get one support person, they're like, yes, review copies are totally allowed. And you'll email and you'll get a different guy and they'll say, no, review copies are definitely not allowed. I can't give you any advice on that, but what I can say is write a reader magnet, and that's the thing that you want to give away. And that one little novella or short story, you don't put that into KU. Let that be your representation outside of Kindle Unlimited.
This might be like a total new question here, but you mentioned that you can direct people to different landing pages if they come from your book or if you're doing a promo. Can that also happen if, let's say, somebody else has a dynamic back page on their book? Let's say it's in a subgenre, lit RPG, and then that comes to you and you say, hey, I see that you came from a lit RPG. If you like lit RPG, hey, my books are pretty cool there. Conversely, if you came from only fantasy, non-lit RPG, hey, have you tried exploring lit RPG? Here's some cool books.
So you can go and it's not even really an advanced feature. I just didn't have time to talk about it. BookFunnel will let you set up a custom domain that you own that you can point to BookFunnel servers, and we actually recommend that you do that if you're getting things set up, because rather than having dl.bookfunnel.com/something something something, I can send my readers at the back of my book to offer.damonjcourtney.com, and I can have it personalized to me. And if you do that, you can actually have whatever that link is redirect, and then you control where the redirect goes. So maybe not exactly what you're talking about, but it is possible to build what you're talking about.
So I just created a reader magnet that is designed to collect email addresses. But the thing is, I'm setting it up just to collect email addresses, not send somebody to a newsletter.
Okay.
So all those email addresses that I hopefully will collect, could I then send all of those email addresses into a newsletter once
Sure.
I create it?
Absolutely. Yeah, so BookFunnel we can integrate directly with your mailing list service and send those readers directly through, or we can simply collect them in a spreadsheet for you that you can export and then import into your mailing list later. Yes, absolutely. We are out of time. If there are any more questions, I'll be out in the salon, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. Thank you all for coming.